All right, welcome back to Cop Your Coin, where I show you how to cop your coin in the fastest growing market in world history. Let's get it. Today I want to talk about three currencies, cryptocurrencies that I would consider investing in if I was just getting started. How would I get started? What would I do? And in particular, I want to start with the coin market cap. This is something that I come to every day, and I've mentioned this in other videos, but just as the habit that I always do, I keep this even on my phone so I can kind of see what the general market is doing. And I look at the probably top 10 or 15 coins all the time, and just kind of looking to see how they're reacting, kind of like we talked about the candlesticks charts, getting an idea of kind of where the trend is. However, but I want to talk to you in particular about three coins. So being this is the first one that I've discussed on my channel, I'm going to start with, everybody knows, obviously, Bitcoin. Okay, so there's a article that or something that I subscribe to. I come to a lot, even in my investing in equity options days, and I still do that now, is Seeking Alpha. And what alpha is always, the title is always about where can you find your edge. That's what alpha, on the Wall Street, that's what they talk about. What is the alpha? What is the edge in the market that somebody is bringing to the table? So that's why this article, so it's a good advertising ploy, obviously, but they have really good information. And I just want to look at this. Again, I will put all the links and everything I discussed will be in the description so you can see. However, but I want to bring your attention to this. This was posted today, actually, on August 22nd, and it talks about the network effect. Here's why Bitcoin is going much higher. Now, everybody remembers, you hear about Bitcoin, that once it was a couple of dollars or below that, $10, and 8 years ago it was $14, and if I'd have bought it then, I'd be rich, right? But the reality is that I believe this is just the very beginning of the game. I believe we are in the first inning of a baseball game. And for those unfamiliar, baseball is 9 innings long. So we are just getting started, folks. This is an opportunity with the way the market has been selling off. Obviously, if you jumped in at $20,000, you'd be feeling pretty bad right now. But a lot of you are just now starting to hear about cryptocurrency. And this is a great way to kind of build your portfolio just by accumulating, when things are on sale. And they are on sale now, folks. I don't know how low it's going to go, and I can't tell you how high it will go. But I like the odds of where everything is right now. So as we look at this article, it talks about Bitcoin looks like it's building a base around the 6,000 level. Prices are not likely to go much lower from here. Market participants are preoccupied with the approval of Bitcoin ETFs, but longer term, Bitcoin is likely to go much higher regardless. In my Instagram page on Cop Your Coin, I actually posted a similar article where it talked about, because there's a Thursday, I believe, which is tomorrow. They're going to be putting out information that the SEC is going to be deciding on the ETF, and I'm sure they're going to turn it down because nothing has changed since the last time they tried to propose a Bitcoin ETF. That's immaterial. I think that's going to eventually happen, if not by the end of this year, by next year, because too many individuals like the Wall Street, too many big banks want to get involved. So that's going to happen. But I think short term that can be used because it'll be a sell-off in the market short term, and that can be used as an opportunity to buy, in my personal opinion, when the market goes down. So we'll see if Bitcoin can hold that $6,000 level at the end of this week. Interesting question here. How much was Facebook worth when it only had 28 million users? How much was the internet worth in 1995 when 0.4% of the population was online? That is what this guy Victor is basically stating, is what I had stated. We are very early right here, very early. And in as much very early, that means that you can really invest for pennies on a dollar, and that's what I would be subscribing to, and putting like 25, 50 bucks back on a monthly basis. Not a lot of money, but that can grow over time, and I think you would like the results. It says right here, there are fewer than 28 million blockchain wallets right now, but how much will Bitcoin be worth when 280 million or 2.8 billion people start using cryptocurrencies? Interesting question. The network effect is an extremely powerful dynamic that could lead to substantially higher market share for the cryptocurrency complex and much higher prices for Bitcoin. That's possible. Again, like I said, I will put this link in here, but Bitcoin, everybody knows that, recognizes that brand. That's certainly one that I would begin to accumulate. And again, as when you're new to cryptocurrency, this is not like stocks, and that you don't have to buy the whole share. You don't have to have $6,000 to buy Bitcoin. You can buy $50 worth of Bitcoin. Okay, you can buy $10. You can buy $1,000 worth, however you feel comfortable, and just buy it as you see fit. Bitcoin is what was called the first generation of cryptocurrency. Obviously, it's the one that everybody knows started in 2008 by Satoshi Nakamoto. The next one is Ethereum. That is what is the second generation of cryptocurrency. And just to take a step back real quick, so Bitcoin was able to do a lot of transactions on the blockchain, basically which exists on the internet. You do a transaction, send money to someone, and they can send you a service or a good, and that would be copied throughout the blockchain on the ledger. Okay. In Ethereum, it came about because they were saying Bitcoin was taking too long. It was like you're doing, I don't know, maybe 1,000 transactions in a couple of seconds, 2 or 3 seconds. I'm sorry, doing like three to 6 transactions in a second. But as Bitcoin grew in popularity, then that becomes slow. You know, the more people that join in, 3 or 4 transactions a second, that sounds fast when maybe you got 1 million people doing it. But when you got 10 million people doing it or 100 million people doing it, that becomes very slow. So that was a problem. Bitcoin is currently working on that with a process, their project they call Lightning, but I don't know what the status of that is. I'll get into that into another video. So here comes Ethereum. And Ethereum is a ERC20 token, and that built another blockchain where it was determined that in order to make it faster, Ethereum wanted to operate within parallel instead of having a sequential transactions happen in sequence. It wanted to have parallel transactions so it'd be a little faster. So it was 18 to 20 transactions in a second instead of 2 to 3. Definitely better. But again, even Ethereum, as it grew in popularity, that becomes slower. When something becomes slower, it takes more time, obviously, and it becomes more expensive. Now, Ethereum, a lot of projects, there are a lot of ICOs or initial coin offerings that have built their projects off of Ethereum. Ethereum is a solid investment. It is one of the coins that I own in my portfolio, and I think they will go on to do really well. However, I think that it's going to continue to evolve, and we're going to continue to have some other opportunities. It is here that I want to go into my third and final suggestion for today is our Cardano. Now, Cardano is what I would like to call a third generation cryptocurrency, and it has a different model than the previous two. Cardano was built in mind of the mindset that as more people joined, the faster the transactions would be. Makes sense. You know, it's similar to the idea that you have more people involved, the quicker things happen. And that's the reason that happens is because of what their model is. It's called a proof of stake versus a proof of work. Now, I'm going here, and again, you'll see all the links down below. And you can read all about this in here. There's a lot of information on Cardano and a lot of places of which to get information on it. But just to kind of wet your whistle, Cardano basically made this set up so that once it launches, and it has a number of processes that are launching as we speak, and I'll get to you in a second and kind of show you some other things. It's going to become more ubiquitous and quicker to do transactions the more popular it becomes, just based off of the proof of stake model versus the proof of work. Proof of work is a very big drain of energy. That is how Bitcoin works, and that is how Ethereum works. So anytime a transaction happens, it has to be duplicated on the blockchain, bum, 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 over and over and over and over again. That takes a lot of energy and a lot of time for miners to do that calculation and to win that, to set that new node and win the reward of a piece of Ethereum or a piece of Bitcoin. Whereas with Cardano, it's more so, here we go, you have people, we're going to group people in pools and stakes, and they just have stake pools, and basically they have their currency. It works in that it'll be able to, they use their stake to basically validate the transactions. And this has been shown to be successful. There are a number of projects that tried to do this before, proof of stake before, but it weren't secure. It wasn't efficient. Cardano is one of the first projects to actually make that secure, make that efficient. And they've only been in existence. They've actually started working here probably the last 3 or 4 years, but they've only been trading since 2017, so a little bit over a year from now. What I like about Cardano is not only with all the information they have on here, but also this is just kind of a shortcut. They have a roadmap that's very easy to follow, and it gives you an idea of kind of what's coming up, when the special announcements are. You can see right here. So they've basically set up a way for wallets, for a light wallet. Cardano has a wallet that you use as a dataless, and it's a hot wallet because it is connected on your desktop. However, they're basically putting it together a light wallet. And a light wallet means that it doesn't have to carry the whole nodes of the blockchain. It just carries the part of where your money is, and it updates fairly quickly. So that's Project Icarus. So you can read more about that here, and then you can also read about the Yore desktop wallet. And Cardano, they are made up of they got a very strong team. That's another thing I like about them. We'll go real quick. And so it's 3 different entities: the Cardano Foundation, the IOHK, and Emergo. And down here, you can kind of look at the information. It'll give you a description of who's who and kind of what they do. Emergo is actually out of the East, headquartered in Japan. And the foundation, you see that's what their standards are, kind of what they're trying to do. Everything is peer reviewed in Cardano. That's a great thing. And then finally, the figurehead, the person that you see a lot of is Charles Hoskinson. And he founded Input Output Hong Kong. And that's what this is right here. So you can find out more information about them as well. But these are 3 projects that I would look at. And here's a funny thing. So there's a price level. So right now, Bitcoin is approximately about $6,400 per coin. Ethereum is about $275, $280 per coin. And Cardano at this point is less than 10 cents per coin. Okay, I think all 3 of these are great projects. I think all 3 of them will be here 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I think you can easily get a big return in your investment on Cardano. Obviously, do your own research. But when at the height of the hype last year and beginning of this year, it was at I think I won $1.30. So if you could buy it now at 9 cents, I mean that's more than 10 times your money, even if it got to that point. So these are just 3 coins that I would look at getting started. Once again, do your research. This is something that you want to take a moment to read up on. There's so much information, so many channels out there, so many ways that you can get information on this. But question of the day: what coins would you like to see me talk about in the future? I have some other ones that I have on deck that I'll probably hit up at the end of this week. But if there's some coins or some projects that you're interested in, something that you say, hey, B-Walk, what about this or what about that? Feel free to listen in the comment section below. And I will see you next time on Copy Your Coin.